From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. Governor Bill Walker was in the Interior today discussing his Sustainable Alaska Plan, which he says can eliminate the state budget deficit before his term expires.
Walker spoke at a luncheon hosted by the Fairbanks Chamber of Commerce and the Sunrise Rotary Club. Walker credited the legislature with helping realize a 41% cut in spending and for moving a FY17 operating budget through both bodies, though it remained unresolved pending a conference committee decision. On the revenue side, Walker's plan includes a revamp of the permanent fund, which would use fund earnings to pay for government while paying out a smaller dividend check to Alaskans based on oil revenue dollars. Walker, who says he does not like taxes, has a statewide income tax as part of his plan and has vowed to call the legislature into special session if an income tax bill is not considered.
You know, I think that if more time is needed, I'd be happy to accommodate that. So it's a tough message, but the message is pretty clear. Fix Alaska this year so we can go on from fixing Alaska to building Alaska. So I want to get to the Build Alaska plan, which is next year. I can't get there until we fix Alaska.
One of the 6 teens involved in a violent robbery attempt in April of last year was sentenced yesterday in Fairbanks Superior Court. 19-year-old Cy Thomas was ordered to serve 2.5 years in prison for armed robbery. According to court documents, the 6 teens attempted to rob the victim to obtain marijuana for Arctic Man. The teenagers went to the victim's residence with a handgun, sawed-off shotgun, and baseball bat in an effort to get the pot. The victim tried to defend himself with a knife but says he was beaten with the bat. The 6 teens fled, but troopers stopped the vehicle and arrested them. Thomas is the last of the 6 to get sentenced. He spoke at the sentencing about what he missed out on because of his bad decisions.
I'm 19. I should be home with my family, playing college football, doing something different, but instead I'm sitting at FCC. I've made a lot of foolish decisions in my past that at the time I thought were cool, but I realized how childish I really was. But I can't go back and change my past. I only can learn from my past and grow for the future.
There will be a new question on the ballot for residents of the Fairbanks North Star Borough. Voters would choose whether or not they want the borough to levy a 5% sales tax on marijuana products sold by businesses. Ryan Grimes has the specifics.
This ordinance is adopted.
The Borough Assembly voted unanimously in favor of an ordinance to provide a ballot question to the public that would ratify a levy on marijuana sales by businesses. If passed by voters in October, the tax would be effective borough-wide January 1st, 2017. Some stakeholders of the marijuana industry said that they support the initiative, minus the option that gives the ability to raise the 5% tax to 6% if the cities of Fairbanks and North Pole defer their marijuana sales taxes to the borough.
I would have to say that I do not support the option to raise it to 6% because it costs more money to take our money. I think that it would be easier for voters to approve it and vote for it if it was 5%, and I think that would make people in the industry happy as well.
Assemblywoman Diane Hutchison, a stark opponent of marijuana, voted in support of the ordinance, but not without giving a word of warning about it.
To me, the higher the tax, the better. I almost feel ashamed that we even talk about this as a revenue raiser. I just want to cover our costs because it's going to be expensive to put in a cash-only system to collect it. You can sit and shake your head. You can do whatever you want. You have no idea what it's going to cost this borough to change to be able to do cash collections.
Hutchison is referencing the fact that banks cannot take in money from cannabis businesses due to federal law. Thus, marijuana businesses would need to hand over their taxes to the borough with cold, hard cash. Mayor Carl Castle says the Assembly should see an ordinance soon to upgrade safes at the borough building to handle the extra money.
Be prepared that the borough is going to have to spend some money before the election, before we know that this is going to happen for sure. And I agree with you. I think the likelihood is it will pass. It's going to be some creative government work, the kind of approach we haven't used before. I'm willing to go down that trail if you're willing to go down that trail, because ultimately this is going to be your decision.
This is Ryan Grimes reporting.
When we come back, the Board of Regents for UA voted today to oppose legislation to allow concealed handguns and knives on campus.
Also, Sunday morning, you are invited to rise early and help welcome the first light of Easter. We'll give you all the details. Stay with us.
Welcome back. Last month, the Republican Party conducted their presidential preference election. Now it's time for the Democratic Party to have their caucus tomorrow. The Carlson Center will be the scene, as doors will open at 9 a.m. with the actual caucusing beginning at 10. This year, for the first time, caucus participants had the ability to pre-register to help speed entrance into the event. The process can be a little confusing, but trained volunteers will be there to give directions and help determine who will go on to represent candidates in the May convention.
Folks get together with their neighbors, their friends, the people that live in their communities, and they choose who they would like to nominate for our presidential candidate from Alaska. But it's actually very organized, and fortunately we have, as the party made sure to help train all of the volunteers, everyone that's running this is a volunteer, helping their neighbors make sure their voices are heard.
The University of Alaska's Board of Regents acted today to oppose the legislation that would allow concealed handguns and knives on campuses. Senate Bill 174 states that without amendments, the legislation would prevent the university from responding to high conflict situations involving concealed firearms and knives on university property. The resolution requested that legislators and governor oppose the bill in its current form and urges Alaskans to oppose SB 174 without the amendments requested by the board.
Okay. The University Board of Regents voted today 9-2 to oppose the current form of SB 174, which would allow concealed handguns and knives on campus. And the reason the board passed this resolution in opposition is because without the 6 amendments that the university has consistently asked for, the legislation would prevent the university from responding to common, known, and high risk and high conflict situations on campus, which involve concealed firearms or knives.
Today's observance of Good Friday sets the stage for the big celebration Sunday. Mike Schultz has this report on one event, Easter Sunday, that starts the day in a joyous fashion.
Sunday morning on the Centennial Bridge, this will transform to this as the first rays of Easter rise over the city. The sun will be greeted by music, prayer, and song.
We get here about 6 o'clock and get this place all set up. So what we do is we set up 2 warming huts on each end of the bridge, and we have hot coffee and hot chocolate, and we bake fresh baked hot cross buns, and then we have the music sheets, and people come out, and it's lighted, and we have some heaters here. We got a choral group that sings, and we have this all set up with music and speakers.
Father Fred Baylor, pastor of the Church of the Immaculate Conception, says he looks forward to the ceremony each year.
Well, you know, I've been participating in this for about 6 years now, and it's amazing to me how well it's put together and how many people show up out here. And so I see it as a great opening celebration to prepare for masses at Immaculate Conception or services at all of the other churches. So ecumenically and interdenominationally, so many people come out here and participate together. And it's so wonderful to hear all the different ministers doing their part in the service, and then the music and the praise and worship and all of that.
Bill Bubell says all of the activities along with the fellowship make this unique gathering very special.
This is a really short service. It starts at 7 and it ends before 8, usually about 7:45, and that allows the pastors to get back to their churches and all of the people that come on this bridge to get back to their morning services, which usually start about either 8 or 9 o'clock. So it's well attended. We have about, I would say on average about 600 people that come, and it's short and quick, but it's really a powerful service, and everybody walks away just totally amazed.
Mike Schultz reporting.
Looks like a whole lot of fun. All right, Joe Cook is coming up next, live from the 3A, 4A state basketball tournament in Anchorage.
He'll have a recap from that and the play of the week after the break.
Hello, Interior Alaska. Joe Cook here, reporting at the ASAA First National Bank 3A, 4A State Basketball Tournament. And there's a lot of action going on here, the semifinal games. Speaking of semifinals, talk about the quarterfinal matchups. It was a busy day for interior teams, 7 of them. 7 interior teams had quarterfinal matchups. Here's a recap of the late quarterfinal games.
Fortunately, the West Valley Wolfpack girls did not suffer the same fate to East like their boys team. The Wolfpack were sound on both ends of the court. They took the first lead of the game and it was never really threatened. West Valley was up 14-4 at the end of the first quarter, despite a 6-point lead at halftime. As the Thunderbirds tried to get back into the game, the Wolfpack sealed it in the second half. Their defense fueled their offense and their lead ballooned to 20 points in the third quarter. Ruthie Hebert led all players with a game-high 26 points and 17 rebounds. Teresa Sample chipped in with 10 points, and the Wolfpack never trailed in a 54-41 win and advanced to tonight's semifinal against the Wasilla Warriors.
I actually was really surprised. I was really nervous coming in, and then I think just by the pace of the game, we kind of pulled ahead, and that was nice for us. It was good confidence. I think we saw a lot of close games with Diamond Lathrop and Wasilla Colony, so it kind of makes it feel like it's anyone's state tournament championship game, so hopefully it can be ours this year.
This next showdown might have been the game of the day for interior teams. The Aurora champion Delta Junction Huskies took on the ACS Lions. Both teams matched each other shot for shot, run for run throughout this contest. It was knotted up at 37-all at the half. ACS got some elbow room with a 5-point lead heading into the fourth quarter. Trey Huckabee led that charge with 2 of his 18 points for ACS. The Huskies countered with Martise Blankenship and Josh Helkin. Helkin scored 17 while Blankenship had a game-high 21 points. Delta was firing away to stay within striking distance, but ACS was just a little too big inside. Moraine Gatkuth also had 18 points for ACS. When he wasn't scoring, he found his bigs inside. A little too much ACS for Delta as the Lions win 71-65 and punch their ticket to the semifinals. The Galena Lady Hawks had the tough task of trying to take down #1 Barrow. The teams traded a series of buckets to start the game. It was tied 7-7, but Barrow went on a 12-2 run, and they were up 19-9 at the end of the first quarter. That run would carry over for the Whalers in the second half as they got a number of steals and transition layups to pull away from Galena, despite a game-high 16 points from Romay Harris. Barrow cruises to a 61-35 victory. They will meet Hutchison in their semifinal matchup. In the nightcap for the 7-state tournament interior teams, the Lathrop Malamutes made it into the big dance this year, and their reward was the defending champion Diamond Lady Lynx in the first round. The Malamutes were up 4-0, but the Lynx, they responded with an 11-0 run spearheaded by Alyssa Peely. She scored 14 of her game-high 24 points in the first half. Jana Hadukovic paced the Mutes with a solid performance of 15 points, trying to will her team back. Diamond was up 29-24 at the break. In the fourth quarter, Lathrop made their move. They turned up on defense and converted on the offensive end. Cheyenne Dybert was a part of that rally with 10 points and 15 rebounds. It was tied 40-40 with 6 minutes left, but the defending champs shut down Lathrop. They outscored the Malamutes 20-3 in the last 6 minutes and win 60-43 to advance to the semifinals.
How about this? The West Valley soccer team, they got a head start to their season this week. Today, they played Colony in the Dome. Yesterday, they defeated the Wasilla Warriors 5-0. Big win for them there. But today against the Colony Knights, the Pack had to play a complete game. 23 minutes into the game, Shane Gillette, he put the Pack on the board with a shot that was just too hot to handle. It was actually an own goal, but he gets credit for the deflection and the goal. But we had a tie game in the second half. There was some confusion for West Valley on a free kick from Colony, and the Knights made them pay, scoring the game-tying goal. It's 1-1 West Valley. They had an answer. Andrew Bray, he makes a good play on the ball and feeds Gillette, who somehow squeezes the ball in the corner of the goal, and that's the game winner. Gillette's second goal gives West Valley a 2-1 win over Colony, and West Valley is 2-0 to start the year. And now we will have the play of the week, and this one comes from a local musher. How about that? Roxy Wright placed second in the GCI Open North American Championships on Sunday. She beat Lena Streeper by 1.9 seconds to get runner-up. What's more special is that Wright is a great-grandmother, 67 years old, and hasn't mushed competitively in 20 years. Wright gets this week's Play of the Week to pick the next POTW. Watch the I-5 Interior Top 5 plays on Mondays during the weekend recap. And that's all I have for sports at the Alaska Airlines Center. But be sure to tune in tomorrow for more 3A, 4A state tournament basketball action. Weather is coming up next after this break.
Welcome back, everyone. Time to take a look at the weather. Mike Schultz with you on a Friday night. And again, we had lots of sunshine, though the clouds are starting to move in, and we are looking at definitely a change in the weather pattern over the weekend. We'll tell you about that in just a little bit. What we are going to talk about tonight is basically another nice evening with above normal temperatures. Tomorrow, cloudy skies with some snow and rain developing by evening. And for Easter Sunday, not as bad as it has been looking for the last couple of days. Just some isolated showers are expected on the great day there to check out when the sun comes up early. Here's what's going on as far as the numbers. 43 for the high today, the low last night 8, the record high 56 in 1915, the record low 38 below in 1935. Your sunrise and sunset about 12 hours and 47 minutes, a gain of 7 minutes from yesterday. And the satellite and radar once again is showing a little bit of more of a circulation developing across the Gulf of Alaska. That's helping to spin more moisture up our direction, and that's reflected on the latest radar and also the satellite picture showing more cloud cover moving into the Fairbanks area, but no precipitation as of yet. But tomorrow may be a different story. Our big picture looks like this as far as temperatures go. Another nice day across southeast Alaska, but still widespread rainfall there for Ketchikan and Juneau. Just partly cloudy skies at Anchorage, cooling off from their 50-degree yesterday to 43s today. Kodiak at cloudy skies, 42 degrees. Cold Bay, 41 and cloudy. Over the western side of the state, well, Bethel looks at 36 degrees for their high today, but a chilly 19-degree reading for the folks in Nome. 0 at Barrow with cloudy skies, and Fort Yukon, very comfortable, 36 degrees and sunshine. In the lower 48 tonight, again, most of the energy is way up to the north, and it's starting to work its way back down again. The snow and rain moving across Denver, nothing like they had a few days ago, just some scattered shower activity there across the northern plains also. And then over the eastern side of the country, that frontal boundary that moved through last night is working its way up the east coast, bringing some showers over the Florida Peninsula and then up over the northeast. And the overall picture is calling for a very pleasant Sunday, or Saturday, I should say, as you see lots of warm and dry conditions across Texas, maybe a few showers over the central plains, and that's about it. The overall jet stream for next week is looking like it's going to drop a little bit further to the south, which will allow for a little more activity to develop, especially over the northwest part of the country, and then over the deep south too, more thunderstorms developing there. Well, it's time for our weather fact, and in 1934, Amarillo, Texas had 21 inches of snow in a 24-hour period. Fortunately, the next day, the temperatures rose to 50 degrees and most of it melted, but that is a lot of snow in northern Texas in one day, that's for sure. Again, thanks to Mount McKinley Bank for sponsoring our kids' weather. And next week, we'll be visiting with the kids from Badger Road Elementary School. Okay, here are your forecasts for the northern sections for tomorrow. Cloudy skies in Barrow, a few flurries for Nome, and scattered snow showers expected at Fort Yukon. Here in the interior, well, it's going to kind of go downhill a little bit. Snow and rain showers are likely for all areas by evening. Even heavier snow in the Healy area. Could see a couple inches of snow possible. Now, for the southeastern sections, scattered showers in the morning, then more rain likely region-wide. While over to the southwest part of the state, looking at partly cloudy skies at Cold Bay, mostly cloudy skies in Kodiak, and snow showers expected for Bethel. And down around the Anchorage Bowl, if you're heading down there, cloudy skies are expected at Anchorage, isolated showers for Homer, and scattered rain and snow showers in Valdez. And it's Friday night, time for our final winter trails report for the year, and Saturday looks pretty nice for all the resorts. Sunday may be a little less nice though, because we're looking at rain and snow possible. Melting means fast trails and slopes, so snow machiners be very cautious about potential avalanche dangers. And again, big thank you to Beaver Sports for sponsoring our winter trail report all year long. All right, our forecast for the Fairbanks area, scattered high clouds, very mild, 20 degrees for the overnight low. Tomorrow's forecast calling for cloudy skies with rain and snow developing by evening, about a 40% chance right now, and 43 degrees for the high. And the temperatures, and that's not a mistake for Tuesday and Wednesday, looking at temperatures in the low to mid 50s, and also temperatures will continue to be very mild overnight low Looking at daytime highs, like I said, around the mid-50s by Tuesday and Wednesday, dropping down to about 50 degrees by Thursday. Overnight lows also still very warm in the low 20s. And our photograph for tonight, this one sent in from Chuck from Clary Summit. He was able to capture two moons. It's called two moons because there's the regular moon and then there's the moon-shaped radar on Pedro Dome for the National Weather Service. Again, as always, if you have a photograph to share, send it to photos@ktbf11.com.
Thank you, Mike. And from all of us here at the News Center, we hope you have a great night.
Good night.